We are about to begin this thing. Are you excited, Jency?
I am. It's been a while since I've commentated a
Hi.
race, so yeah, I'm good to go.
Here we go. And the item is, the red mail. Eggplant Hant in the first chest.
Well, that's one way to start it out.
And we will see Swerb pause as we get things caught up on the restream end to get them in sync as far as the timers are concerned. And let's head on over to the escape. So you said it has been a while since you've been able to commentate a race. You've been seeing a lot of great races. What have you enjoyed so far in this tournament, Jency?
I'm going to say all the meme-worthy events. The Terror Chest, the Digging Game, the Kiki, and of course, you know, the Swag Duck anthems.
Yeah, unfortunately, DT not with us. We're not going to be able to take on any more Swag Dunk anthems this time around. Sorry, guys.
I'm sure there will be more DT singing in the future. Plenty more races to come.
Yeah, well, we'll see if he actually does do a little bit of singing. Well, you weren't too far off. Chest number 2 had a little bit of love. We'll see him probably do some singing when he faces off against Ruler Jay Bradley in his round of 32.
I am so looking forward to that match. Just because I know those two are friends to be facing off in a tournament match like this.
And then the fact that both of them have actually did a lot of commentary together, so it's just very funny that they ended up having to play each other in a best of 3, which gets underway on Sunday. Dode getting the first bomb drop, but Swerb not too far behind, and the bombs, obviously, we've mentioned this before, so you guys already know about the drill, about the escape, so... I think at this point we can go ahead and talk about other various things that are going on in this tournament, like just how much fun we're having with this tournament, what kind of things these guys are thinking of. Well, this is going to be a fast escape now.
Getting the boots in the basement. Oh, goodness. Start counting those bonks.
Yeah, we can get a high bonk count, but more importantly, this will be easily a sub-6 escape now.
Barring any problems, of course, because you still have the ball and chain guy they got to deal with.
At this stage, if any of these guys ended up bumping off to the ball and chain guy, I'd be totally surprised. And a nice execution there from both of the runners. Getting the key set up on near that chest they open up, so, you know, that's a good way to smooth out some time during the course of this escape.
And Chad just pointed out all red items they've been getting so far. The red mail, red rubies, red boots.
How about the lightsaber sword next?
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for Zelda to be holding out on a sword.
Alright, let's see what's in Zelda's nearby chest. It's just a key.
Just a key.
Sorry, guys.
But they still have those 3 chests behind the bomb wall, which could have the lightsaber in there.
And also with the key now, that also makes that one in the sewers a possible item as well. And brown is close to red, isn't it?
Close enough. I think it could be considered a shade of red.
It's different than a shade of blue, so, I mean, it's quite possible we could be seeing more red items coming out of here. How about the Cane of Samaria and the Fire Rod to tap things off here?
I think they would both be very happy to find both of those very early. Because what was a race last night, it was the Cane of Samaria that they were struggling to find.
Always seems like it's one item, no matter what seed it is. And yep, Cape is also out there, so too is the lamp. So there's going to be 4, there's 5 chests left. 4 of them have items. The other one's going to contain that map. You guys know what map we're talking about.
By map, do you mean the delicious burrito?
It ain't delicious in Hyrule Castle. Especially if they find it here in the sewers.
Yeah, I've got no comment to that one.
And they find it in the sewers. The rat-infested sewers.
Yeah, there's the sewer burrito. Yummy.
Yeah. I could make a joke about a popular fast food chain, but no, they're a good sponsor of Twitch. I don't need to get them involved.
Yeah, that might not be a good idea.
Swerb chasing after the ramp for the key, finally gets the track down. Let's see what's in those 3 chests over here on the left-hand side. We know they all have to be items now, and because they had the boots, they don't have to spend that bomb, by the way.
Which is very helpful considering Swerb only, well, never mind. I was gonna say he only has 1 right now, but he got a little more.
3 bombs and 2 red rupees. And how about another bomb for good measure?
Well, that'll help him out getting into Kakariko, not having to worry about farming for bombs or buying bombs.
1665 rupees. Both of these guys will head over to Kakariko Village next, and we'll find out what is in the Sanctuary chest, aka the Tear chest. And it's a bomb increase, which gives them another bomb, because why not?
Now, in newer versions, the newer logic that bomb increased is no longer gives +1 or 2 bombs, right?
That's correct. So if you get that in your escape and you're hoping, oh, I have bombs, and then you look at your card and you see 0, that's why. Now, something Swerve forgot to do is check the Bonk Cave over here, and Do did remember it.
Because normally you don't have the...
Oh, Butter Sword!
Ooh. Red Mail, Butter Sword. I'm just waiting for them to get the Riot Shield now.
And is that the flute?
It sure did look like the flute, so I'm gonna say Aga 1 is required unless Meyer is a pendant.
Yes, which would be the only case that it would definitely be required, but we're not going to see a map pulled up really soon. And Dode will help give us some confirmation. Red Rupee in the forest, and Dode finds that it is indeed the flute. So we can't say definitely Aga 1 required at this moment, but it's a whole lot better of a chance than if it's a piece of heart in that tree. Speaking of a piece of heart, there's one for Swerb.
Yeah, hopefully Swerb on one of his save and quits back to the Sanctuary remembers that Bonk Rock. Because I know from experience.
Ooh, oh. I don't think he wanted to do that.
I don't think so either. Swarm of bees.
The bees?
And sadly, no net yet to catch them, so they can unleash them on Ganon.
No bottle to store it either.
Ah, yes, very true.
But yeah, that definitely was a bunk that Swerve did not want to have.
You're gonna see what's in the thieves' house here.
50 rupees, which will get him the bottle from the, well, the thing from the bottle merchant.
Well, now it's
and a whole
towards
bunch
the
more
thieves'
money.
house. It's all money in here.
And bombs. Insert your own jokes here. I'm guessing what happened with Swerb is you don't usually think you're going to have boots during the escape, so you don't think of checking that after leaving the Sanctuary. Just hopefully he will remember to get that in due time, because that's a nice sword to have.
Yeah, while it's not technically required, both of these guys definitely, I'm sure, know how to even do Master Sword Ganon. But it's definitely helpful on the bosses.
Yeah. Easier bosses, not having too much time with combat against them, that would definitely help these guys out. We're not seeing anything. Oh, there's the cane of Burna. Not really seeing all that much here in Kakariko Village.
Yeah, it's a cane. It's half of what they want, but it's just the wrong color.
And it is another piece of heart at the 100 rupee vendor. So I'm wondering how much Zora is going to rip them off today. Nope, Dode, you can't bonk into the wall to open up that wall. Doesn't work that way.
It looked like he attempted to get the chicken clip. I did that once and I soft locked myself. So I don't even try that anymore.
I've gotten it once. I haven't soft locked yet. I do fear the day that I do, but if I'm going to do it, at least it's going to happen at the 9-minute mark of this race.
Yeah, so it's not super, you know, an hour and a half in. Super early for...
Swerb remembers he's got boots here. And it's the Book of Medora.
Vanilla book of all things.
Vanilla seed, guys. Vanilla seed. Oh, we have all 3 crystals here in the light world.
I just barely saw that because I glanced over at chat and...
Ooh, fetch quest at the race game, the mushroom.
It looks like he is going after it.
I
can't really blame him.
Yeah, you kind of want to, because that mushroom could eventually... That mushroom could lead to something. We haven't seen anything really to progress the game along, except for the book, as well as the butter sword, which doesn't leave a lot of possibilities. Being told Desert Palace was a 5. No, Eastern Palace, rather. Swerb saving and quitting, Dode saving and quitting, and Swerb is going to head on to the South Shore, and Dode is going to do the same thing. Are these guys in a hurry to trade in that mushroom?
Dode actually looks like he is going after early Aghanim.
Wow. And that's something that Swerb can't do right now, because he didn't find the butter sword.
Definitely an interesting play, because the only thing he'll be able to check, unless the pyramid item is the moon pearl, is just the pyramid item.
Just an interesting decision here by Dode, but, you know, if this pays off for him, more power to him. And I know Dode is the type that wants to take a few risks in here. And I mean, I know you mentioned earlier that Swerb takes risks as well. We did find the fireball shield outside of the swamp.
But like Chad is pointing out, you can't really blame him because he saw that flute. He wants that flute quicker travel around the map.
That is correct too. Yeah, you are correct. And with the flute, that definitely makes it easy. Now, also don't forget, right now, as far as we're concerned, that might be the only way to get up to Death Mountain.
That is very true too. I mean, it's still very early. Don't know if they're gonna get any lift upgrades.
Well, let's find out what Swerve finds here. We haven't found anything else yet, but maybe he'll find something good in this hype cave. And so far, well, we find a bottle for the kid. And that's about it as far as progression items are concerned.
So it's just been a lot of fetch quests so far.
Yeah, that's
the
correct.
Mushroom, the bottle, not much else yet.
That's correct. Now, to answer Chad, the only way Aga 1 would be a risk at this point, yes, it's for the flute, but we don't know if the flute is required at this moment. There's a possibility that it is. If it's not, then you're going through a dungeon here that's about 4 minutes long. If you don't make that time up anywhere else, it could be 4 minutes that makes the difference between you winning and losing. But stranger things have happened this tournament, you know, Jency.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people making gambles that don't pay off, and then it just boils down to execution after that, and they come from 5 or 6 minutes behind.
All right, Swerve, turn to the right. Don't turn to the left. Get that butter sword. He's going to. There we go. Nope. Yep. There we go. There we go. He now remembers to get the dash cave. I kind of got worried there because I thought he was about ready to head to the sick kid to turn that bottle in.
That's what I was thinking too. He turned down and then thought about it again and backtracked. So now he might head down toward the sick kid.
No, I think he's going to turn in the mushroom. And nope, Swerp, you need flippers in order to do that quick transition across the bridge. And so, Swerp trading in the mushroom, we're going to find out right away if that's anything important.
given the limited items they've been getting so far, I'm starting to think it's just going to be a red rupee.
Or how about the mirror?
Okay, that works too.
So if Dode ends up getting the mirror, or rather turning in the mushroom before heading up to the Death Mountain, we'll be able to tackle Hera. All right, guys, what do you think is on the pyramid ledge? And Swerve's heading to Ganon.
He's exhausted a majority of his options so far, and with the butter sorting, just get right in.
All right, let's find out. And Dode finds the shovel.
More fetching.
More questing.
Maybe he'll go and dig up a dirty little red pearl.
I hope he cleans it first.
Or he could dig up some slightly used gloves. Or he could dig up a heart piece. Any number of options are possible.
Card's trolling Dode as he's trying to make his way through and go ahead and dig up his future. And his future has in store the magic powder. Another fetch quest. This is just filled with fetch quest here.
It's like Fetch Central right now.
You get a fetch quest, and you get a fetch quest. Now, Dode, if I would believe, is now going to head to the tree to get the flute. And so far, this is the only way that this game has kind of envisioned these guys getting up to Death Mountain.
He may go and turn in his mushroom after he gets the flute, because he can just flute right in front of the witch's hut.
And that's correct, and then he would be picking up a mirror, and that would help him out for Death Mountain.
Just fingers crossed that he goes to do the mushroom turn-in first, and then goes to Death Mountain, not the other way around.
And the flute pickup there for Dode, and time to head on over to Kakariko Village and say hello to a swag duck.
And sadly, chat, you will hear no singing from either of us today.
Oh,
I'm not sorry for that.
Well, I can already tell you that on my end, it's at least a blessing in disguise that there's going to be no singing on my end.
Yeah, same for me. That's why I'm like, I'm not sorry at all. You'll have to wait for more DT for that.
Maybe this weekend, guys. Maybe this weekend. There's plenty of races still to come up here. Just do !ALTTP and look at the schedule. A lot of great races coming up and more link bunks too. But it's time to raise your stand and take off your caps. It's time for the Swag Duck Anthem here being performed by DoDeChehedron. Unfortunately, this Swag Duck Anthem is being interrupted by Ganon taking away Zelda on Swerve's end of the stream, so it was kind of a happy and bad moment at the same time.
Ganon always has to ruin everything, doesn't he?
He does. And Dode now taking South Shore because he hasn't already.
Check confirming they have Swerve's audio right now, so they did not get any Swag Duck Anthem. I'm sorry, guys.
It's alright. In spirit, you guys heard it.
And they'll get to hear it when Swerve gets his flute. It'll be okay.
That's fine. Dode saying no to the fireball shield. Just like I believe Swerve did too. And right. Bunny Link will go grab a shovel.
And he'll probably be well on his way to digging up another fetch quest.
All these people in their fetch quests tonight. That didn't work, Dode. Twice. As he tried to bonk and come back over to the other side. And Dode is stopping right there. He's not going to go ahead and check the Ice Rod Cave. Neither of them did.
It is a little out of the way for just one item, so they'll probably check other areas first. And Dode is...
No, he's now heading to the Ice Rod Cave as I spoke of it. Swerb picking up his flute. Oh, that's right. Swerb did check the Ice Rod Cave. It was money. I remember that now.
Chad is always on top of things.
Yes, they are. Where wouldn't we be without the chat?
Much more dazed and confused than normal.
So, Dode now lining himself up. He's going to fake flipper. Find out what he can get from the hobo early. Just the obligatory reminder that this is not required in the game. This is a sequence break of things, and we find 5+ arrows on the Hylia Island.
I'm pretty sure they're not going to come back for that.
And now we get Swerve's audio. We get the Duck Anthem. Something, something. Depending on which one you're talking about. Pedestal Seed.
Something about a bill.
Something about a bill, and something about a tear chest. Oh, Cane of Samaria from the hobo.
Well, that's one less thing they've got to hunt down.
And Swerve checking the sick kid. What's the sick kid have for us today? Oh, the bow for the sick kid. Well.
There we go. Now they're finally starting to get some stuff.
So fetch quests are actually leading somewhere today. Oh, no, you can't give the witch a bomb there, Dode.
As tempting as it is, and I'm sure Dark Magician would love to do that.
He did enough of that last night.
He was bombing anything and everything last night. It was hilarious. So Dode getting his mirror now.
And the mirror, once again, does help out with Death Mountain when he does head up that direction, because then he can warp on over. Now, it's still a possibility that you might not be able to finish off. You might not be able to finish off. Oh, the ether is on the pyramid ledge. Or not the pyramid ledge, the desert ledge. You might not be able to finish off the Tower of Hera, but you might as well try to go to. And so Swerb is now heading up to Death Mountain. We're going to find out what the old man has. And Dode is heading to Eastern with his bow in hand.
Alright, getting some more deviation here. Well, at least they're not staying on the same path, so it's not a mirror image that everybody is watching. I mean, both of these places have to be done anyway. Dode is probably going to Eastern because he can actually complete the entire dungeon.
And pretty good movement here by Dode just to get the dash. Now, that area becomes even harder once you kill Aghanim because it's got all the soldiers. Oh, Titan's Mitt from the old man. And we found the single arrow on Dode's end. And so Swerb going to be checking in the Spectacle Rock, and Spectacle Rock has bombs. He's not going to go in for those. Wouldn't you always want 3 more bombs to your arsenal?
I mean, why not? Dark Magician was going out of his way last night to gather every bomb he could.
Okay, so we just found out on Swerb's end that that flute is not required to beat the game. It's just going to be required to help move along this game faster, as Misery Mire turns out to be one of the pendant dungeons.
But on the flip side of that, there could be a very key item in Mire. I've seen that happen before several times.
Yes, we definitely have. It wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last time. We'll see something like that happen before.
So, because there's always, even if it's not a pedestal seed, there's still always that possibility of seeing a full dungeon clear, just looking for items.
Actually, I am actually going to point it out, because we haven't found where the power glove is just yet. That it's pretty much now 90% likely that this flute was required.
That is true because of the old man giving the Titans mitts.
That's correct, and there's been no other way to get up to Death Mountain besides this.
And no race ball gaming, nobody has made it up that way to check the pedestal yet. I'm sure we will when they get into Skull Woods.
Yeah, we'll probably see that when Skull Woods gets completed, but we won't see Skull Woods come to be in play until we get over to the Fire Rod. Swerb finding one of the sword increases, I believe it was the Tempered or the Master Sword that Swerb ended up finding inside the Tower of Hera. So that's one of the 2 items. Now he's hoping that he can get that second item off Mulder.
Yeah, or else he's gonna have to, fingers crossed, remember to come back here later to check out the basement. Which I've seen that too, where key items have been in the basement and racers have been forgetting. Oh, he get denied by Moldorm. But they would forget to come back down to check the basement.
So Mulder claiming a victim, which is tough considering the fact that with Butter Sword, all you have to do is hit Mulder twice. Bomb increase here for DoDeChehedron. Nothing so far really that great in the Eastern Palace. And the small key, which I guess actually we did know that the small key was going to be there.
Alright, so Swerve getting his first crystal. Dode is not far behind him for his first crystal, just in a different dungeon.
And that's right, Red Boomerang was the other item in Hera, so nope, no trip to the basement. And do you like seeing bunnies? Because we're going to see some bunny on Swerve's end here as he checks Misery Mire. But he's doing this not to go through Misery Mire, but to warp himself to the pyramid edge so he can pick up that ether coin.
Isn't there a way to do a Super Bunny in that part of Misery Mire with the mirror?
Yes, there is. It is a trick that we've I don't know if we've seen it yet in the tournament yet, but it does require some work here. Yep, Red Boomerang was in Eastern Palace, not in the Tower of Hera. I'm getting my streams mixed up here. So that one might fall up there, and Swerve now going to the Desert Palace. Once again, all 3 of these Live World dungeons are crystal dungeons, so they are required. And nothing good here for Swerve so far.
But Swerve is coming in here with no fire source, so he's actually not going to be able to complete this dungeon.
Yep, unless he finds something in this big chest. Well, that wasn't red. That was green goo in a bottle.
And not quite sure what he was looking for, I'm sure.
So, has either of these guys head over to Agena yet?
No, I haven't seen either of them head over that way.
Because right now, there's one of 2 possibilities based on the logic of this game where there could be something. Either Agena has something, or Zora.
That is very true. Vanilla flippers would be interesting. And very trolly. We've seen vanilla flippers several times, and people looking for said flippers, only to find them at their normal home.
To answer that question in chat here about the hammerless seed, no, there cannot. There's way too many dungeons that require the hammer for it to be a hammerless seed. It's one of the absolute required items. And one of the chatters does make an interesting point. Checkerboard Cave is considered a possible spot here based on the logic.
That is very true because of them having the flute and the mirror. They can access it even though they're a bunny.
So there is a possibility that Checkerboard Cave could have something. It could have the Moon Pro. I've seen that happen before.
And it's one of those places that's out of the way too, so I can see how it would easily be forgotten.
And I'm surprised Swerb didn't end up checking that when he went through there the first time they're heading over to the desert.
And to answer another question, King's Tomb seen yet? No, they have not been to King's Tomb yet because they got their boots super early, but only recently got their Titan's mitts. That's
correct. That's another possibility too. So there's 4 possibilities where there's something that will progress this seed along. And right now, that big progression would either be a fire source or the Moon Pearl or the hook shot.
Yeah, the hook shot would open up all of Light World East Death Mountain for them. As would the hammer, too.
Yep, the hammer, too. I was just thinking that. Like, that would be the absolute troll, as if it was something that required them to take the long way around.
Well, you know, just based on the number of fetch quests this seed has had so far, making them take a long trip would not surprise me. There's a dude picking up his second crystal, a Swerb not too far behind him, about to get his second. So I wonder where the dude's going to be off to now.
He's going to head to the desert now that he's got the Titan's mitt. So the question is, will he check Checkerboard Cave?
Right now, it looks like he's a little more worried about avoiding that little pterodactyl. And he is heading toward the Checkerboard Cave.
Oh, he just mirrored just in time, too. That thing was about to tackle him.
The bird was on a mission. This is why everybody wants to freeze the
lantern.
Bird. Ooh. That makes desert completable now.
So Swerb not checking the Checkerboard Cave could come back to haunt him now.
It looks like dude's just gonna take the shortcut back into desert.
And that's perfect good sense here. Just head on in, get everything you need. Now, once again, this makes desert winnable here for DoDeChehedron. Now, again, this goes also back to that other item in the Tower of Hera. The item that's in the basement now is also obtainable. So the question is what did Swerb end up missing because he didn't have the fire source?
I'd say in about 3 or so minutes we will find out on Dode's side. Because this is Dode's first time into desert. He's made his round and then entered desert, so he's not going to have to backtrack like Swerb will.
That's correct, and that's where a lot of these races are won and lost is because of backtracking. You have to backtrack your way through a bunch of dungeons, and you lost a whole bunch of time, which your opponent will use that to beat you. It happened in several of the races I was in because I kept going everywhere more than once. Oh, Swerb checking out. Now, why is he checking out of Eastern Palace? Oh, did he beat? Oh, he beat it. Yes, he beat it. He was just going back to check that one chest. That's right.
Yeah, he got the big key and went right to the boss, so can't really blame him. He went back in and did his item count.
Yep. And then he went the long way to find out, hey, that item that you missed, not required.
So Dode getting his vial of green goo.
Alright, so what are we going to find here? Because Dode has a fire source now, and Swerb does not. Now, where does Swerb go from here? He's got just a few options left. And he is going to... I think he just realized what he just did. He didn't want to fly off the thing. He wanted to actually go into the hard rock here.
So it looks like he did remember his checkerboard cave. And that's where he's going to be heading right now.
Yep. And he'll be a little... I would have to say a little upset when he finds that the lamp is in there. And the pterodactyl bugging him just a little bit. Down to 1.5 hearts. Gotta be careful. Half a heart? No!
Oh, and it pecked him to death right before he could mirror. Oh!
He did have a fairy with him, which is a good thing. But I'm sure he didn't want to have to use up that fairy with only 5 hearts this early in the race.
Yeah, that fairy is nice to have on fights like Ganon, for example, where anything could happen in those, and these guys might or might not pick up the bug net at some point.
Alright, so what is this item here that the Lamolas have? Now, Swerb now with the fire source. He is not going back in the desert. He's going to check Agina first. And bombs for the Lamolas.
Well, this is getting interesting. These guys are running out of places to go.
So we've got King's Tomb, Agina, and Zora right now, based on this logic. And the basement of Hera. 50 rupees at Agina. No. Where's Dode going to now? Is he going to head on over to Sanctuary to check King's Tomb? That's exactly where he's heading.
I can't blame him. Because they're probably thinking the same thing we are. They're running out of locations. Where can they go? There's got to be something at one of these spots.
Swerve now heading back into the Desert Palace. Dode about to bonk into the grave.
Chat just pointed out that I thought all Hera items were accounted for. I believe they were.
Magic Cape in King's Tomb, just like it is in Vanilla.
That was anticlimactic.
I'm trying to remember myself. Like, I only remember seeing that Master Sword. Or the Tempered Sword, or whatever that case might be. But Dode is coming back up here.
Oh, so maybe there was something in the basement.
And which the oops was because we got our streams crossed where Swerve was actually not finding this second item in Hera, but Dode found one of the items in the Eastern Palace, which turned out to be the boomerang. All right, so Dode is heading down to the basement. Now, Dode's going to have about a minute's wait to think about what's going on with this seed. What's going through Dode's mind during this 1 minute wait while all the tiles are flying?
This has definitely been one interesting seed for them to be 40 minutes in and still not in the Dark World.
The only parts of the Dark World they've been able to go to is as a bunny.
So I just saw Dode's inventory. This is going to give him the compass.
Really?
He did not have the compass in his inventory.
Well, that's interesting then. If that's the case, that's a big oops. Oh, wait. Maybe he not picked it up because that was in the basement. That was in the front part of the basement.
That's true. I missed that part.
Here we go. The mirror shield. Zora's got to have the progression item.
Not exactly what they're looking for.
And Dode knows this. That's where he's heading to right now. What is 500 rupees? It's gotta have to be something that moves the seat along, guys. Like, this is unbelievable. We know this has to be something. But what can it be? What do you think this is, Jency?
I'm gonna say the hammer.
I'm gonna say the opposite thing for Death Mountain. The hook shot.
There's really only one of like 3 items it could be.
That's
It's
correct.
gotta be the moon pearl, the hammer, or the hook shot.
Yeah, it's got to be one of those 3 at this point because it's got to be something that moves the seat along. And this is the last place to check, and Swerve's right behind Dode at this moment. All right, guys, here we go. 500 rupees. We'll get our runners today. The Moon Pearl.
There we go. Now they can finally access the Dark World and not be a pretty little bunny.
What's wrong with being a bunny?
You can't do anything as a bunny. You're just cute and fluffy and adorable.
Well, what's wrong with that? Dode floating on over. He's going to head on over to the village of Outcasts. Now, here's a question for you. How soon does Swerve go to the digging game?
You know as well as I do, that's going to be like the first thing he does. He's going to check the village of Outcasts and go right to that digging game.
So Skull Woods is number 6. Ice Palace is the green pendant. Red pendant for the Swamp Palace. Blue for Misery Mire. What an interesting seed. Like, this now officially pretty much 100%, 1000% guarantees that AGA 1 kill to get the flute was required.
Yes, because that was their last possible place to check was Zora.
Fire Rod at the chess game.
And we all know how these go. Turtle Rock being a crystal, the ice rod will be nowhere to be found.
Dode heading to Skull Woods immediately. Well, as soon as he gets done bonking. Swerve going to Skull Woods immediately. Or not. Swerve proving me wrong. It's like he does best.
Where is he going?
I think he's going to head to top of the graveyard or Catfish. Catfish. Nope, top of the graveyard. Flippers! To be found in Skull Woods. Again, that small key means Dode doesn't have to go to that bottom right room, and Swerve finding what's on north of the graveyard. So when Dode finds the big key, if he hasn't found the second item in here, are we going to see the swag hover? Oh, Fighter Shield turns out to be north of graveyard. So Swamp Palace, Misery Mire, and Ice Palace are your pendant dungeons. You know what that means?
Interesting.
That means the only item that could be in the pedestal right now would be the ice rod.
That is very true. It looks like Swerve is opting to get the half magic. I can't really blame him. It's a nice little luxury to have.
It is a very much nice luxury to have, especially if he plans on heading to Skull Woods real soon. Unless it turns out to be the medallion required to get into Turtle Rock. And what you see on Swerve's end is the way you do the bumper cave if you don't have the hook shot, by the way. You just hug that north wall.
And that was actually something I learned just a couple weeks ago, that you can do that without the hook shot. I always thought you couldn't.
And there is also a possibility that the hook shot can be up there on that ledge. So we're now heading into Skull Woods, going to find the flippers real soon, which we know is not super required, but maybe they might still have to go into Swamp Palace to look for the ice rod there.
Flippers are required if you don't know how to fake flipper, because the hobo had the cane of Samaria.
Oh, you're correct. Yes, you're correct.
because Dode broke the logic a little bit with the fake flippers and went under to the hobo and got his red cane. Swerb has not been to the hobo yet.
You are 100% correct right there. See, this is why it's better to have a 2-person broadcasting team instead of a 1.
Yeah, because with so much going on, you quickly lose track of who is getting what.
Now we're going to see a pedestal check here from Dode.
Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed.
Come on, we want to see those pedestal hypes in your chat. And there we go. We've got the mirror. He's going to check for us.
Yeah, because I don't believe there's been one yet in the bracket stage.
There was one.
Oh, there was one. I must have missed that one.
There was one. Oh, a little piece of love. Sorry, guys.
Sad phase. Bible thumbs.
Yeah, I believe it turned out that Cadus and Mario turned out to be in the pedestal for a 3rd time this tournament.
That seems to be a very nice place for the Cane of Samaria, doesn't it?
Now, down here in this basement here, or rather the bottom section of Skull Woods, I believe Doda's going to find the big key. Because we've yet to see it in action.
Looks like he's struggling a little bit to get those pots under the bridge.
To which, before the tournament, I didn't even realize that those were pots underneath there, that you could lift them up to skip. And he does find the big key, which was the elimination. That means the big chest will have the 2nd and final item of this dungeon. So we might be seeing some hovers from Dode after all. So right now, hook shot, hammer, ice rod are the major items, plus whatever medallion is required to get into Turtle Rock. We don't know what that is just yet. And here we go. Let's see some hype hovers here from Dode.
Yeah, he's not even hesitating. He's going right for it. And hit 1, Dode 0.
You see, he knows that those Molderns are going to get in the way. And nope, this time he's just going to do the... Well, he tried doing the bombs. That didn't work either. And he's across, and he finds a fairy in a bottle. And I have no clue what just happened on Swerb's end.
I think somebody may have clicked the wrong button somewhere. But we're all good now. You saw nothing.
Okay, if you insist. So Dode's going to do the opposite here, where he's now going to check to see the item up on the bumper cave ledge, and then he's going to go ahead and do the other things that we saw from Swerb earlier. He does see the half magic, thought about it, thought against it for a brief second, and yes, he is going to go ahead and do this now. And Swerve's now going to go ahead and check the pedestal and find out that it is a little bit of love, unfortunately for us.
Yes, fortunately for them, because the seed's been trolly enough already, but, double sad face.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have a pedestal seed during one of my commentaries, but hey, you never know. Maybe in Game 3.
One thing I actually just noticed, the seed has not been very nice to them in the health department.
Somebody get the health department online. We only got 5 hearts. All the hearts are probably in Ganon's tower.
Probably. That wouldn't really surprise me to be like, 8 chests to have full hearts in them.
We're still waiting to find out when Swerb does do the digging game. And Swerv's going to have to be careful with 2 hearts left. I think he's got the setup now, unless the Molderns want to troll him over. And he gets them killed before they can do any damage to him. Finds the fairy in a bottle, and is like, Dode getting ready to check catfish. And this is a pretty good move, considering the fact that he's already eliminated the Zora, so this is now just a loose square. You might as well take care of this now.
Swerb is heading back into the village of outcasts. And it looks like he is booking... Oh, okay, I was gonna say, it looks like he's booking it right down to the digging game.
Yeah, it is exactly what it looked like to me, too. He's gonna check the sea cave, first we've seen of this, and it's 5+ arrows.
Yeah, because both guys only went in, did the chest game, and then left.
Yeah, because when they found the fire rod, they're like, okay, it's right next door. I might as well go ahead and check this. Right away. And a piece of heart for DoDeChehedron, who at 5 hearts says, yep, I'm taking it. It gives him a 6.
Yeah, 50 minutes in and to only be at 6 hearts.
Power glove in the doorless hut.
Swerb continuing to taunt the digging game. He is still not gone to the digging game.
I really hope it doesn't turn out to be another misadventure of the digging game coming back to haunt him here. I don't see why it would be, but he's going to have to be careful with his health with only 2 hearts right now. We're going to see DoDeChehedron clean up the remainder of the Village of Outcasts and then probably go into Thieves' Den as well. So Do now heading for the Sea Cave where he'll find his rewards.
Now, the only problem with them going into Thieves' Town is they really have to watch their item count because there's one chest they can't access unless they find the hammer in here.
That's correct. There's 4 items up for grabs here in this Village of Outcast, and you might be blocked from getting one of them, as Gen Z just put it out. Now, guess where Dode's heading?
He's heading to the digging game.
All right, guys, what do you think we're going to find at the digging game today?
The hammer.
Oh, look
just
at
to be
this.
spiteful.
Super speed.
Fast forward digging game.
And fast forward here, and 2 more. There it is, a piece of heart. Or rather, a heart container, rather. So nothing major, except for the fact that, considering the fact that Swerb only has 5 hearts, I bet he'd really love to have that heart container right about now.
So I noticed something when Swerb pulled up his inventory. He has the map and the compass. So the big chest does have an item. So
it can't be anything important. It can't be anything important. It can't be anything like the ice rod.
Oh no, definitely not. You know,
Can't
ice
be
rod,
the hook shot.
shot.
The medallion. Can't be anything important of those natures. Dode checking out the Bat Cave. Sprinkle a little bit of powder onto the platform here. What are we gonna find? ₹5.
That was a giant letdown.
I can't sound excited for ₹5 at this stage in this race.
No, I can't either. Like, it's just money. Definitely not what these guys are looking for.
It's pocket change.
So unless this chest beside Blind has the hammer, or Blind himself drops the hammer, Swerb is gonna have to remember to possibly come back into this dungeon after finding said hammer.
Which is probably why Dode has not decided to come in here just yet. Now, he does get some rupees, which is actually a good thing for Swerb, considering the fact that he did not have enough rupees for the digging game. Now, are you doing a blind run of this game? We aren't. But this is the first time we're seeing it just along with these runners here. And Swerb, with only 6 hearts, is going to have that cape all set and ready to go.
I definitely can't blame him, because once you get all those heads flying around the screen, I know it's a set pattern, but it's still a pain to try to avoid them.
Absolutely, and what does Blind drop? Blind drops a red rupee.
Just some more money.
So Don't heads over to Thieves' Town. We'll probably find what Swerb has found, which is absolutely nothing. But he's not heading for Thieves' Town just yet, because he doesn't want to get burned by the hammer.
It looks like he's gonna take the lunchbox on a tour.
I hear this is Gary's lunchbox. I don't know how it got the name Gary's lunchbox, but all right. Oh! See this, Gen Z?
Oh, he's going to the digging game.
He's going to the digging game.
He remembers.
Yes.
I'm so proud of him.
5450. Swerb remembers digging game. Film at 11. And Dode going in. He finds a piece of heart, and it's that time now that he's found a few heart containers, will say no.
Yeah, Swerb opted not to grab the heart container, even though he's at 6 hearts.
That is interesting, considering the low heart content right at this moment. He's going to go ahead and do the same stuff that we saw Dode do with the dwarf just a few minutes ago. Dode? I like this idea by Dode. He's going to go ahead, bring this chest over, get that opened up. And the next thing he's going to do after he's done with this is check the Bombos tablet and then head on over to the Dark World Hype Cave.
I can't blame him. I see a lot of people do this path. They drag the chest around. That way they can keep their portal, go back into the Dark World to check the tablet.
Okay. Heart container out of the lunchbox.
Well, Dode is looking a little more healthy as this seed goes along.
He has almost doubled his health since leaving Skullwoods.
Yes, he has.
And Swerve having a little bit of problems with the lunchbox.
Alright, and tablet gives
a bomb
bombs.
Increase. So now Dode's going to head on over to the Hype Cave here. So we saw nothing come out of the run over to Thieves Town on Swerve's end. So this hammer and this hook shot, which really is keeping a lot of things uncovered at this moment, or rather keeping a lot of things covered here, where could it be? Let's find out what's in the Hype Cave. There could be a lot of good things in here. It starts off with 20 rupees, though.
It starts out like every... Ooh.
Wake, 300 rupees, heart container, because why not? There's a hammer.
And we got a hammer. So Hype Cave is still hype.
So now, with that being done, is Dode going to go to Thieves Town next, or is he going to go to the Palace of Darkness? He is going to go.
Looks like he's heading off to Pod.
And check out the Palace of Darkness.
I can't blame him. He's got everything he needs to complete it.
And so we're going to get his bomb increase here. He will soon end up getting that hammer, so this is really a tight race still. Unless that one chest that remains in Thieves Town has something important.
So I just saw in chat something that I keep actually forgetting about. The hookshot is possible to be in the hookshot cave.
That's correct, and right now with the hammer, now they do have access to Eastern Death Mountain. Well, Swerve's about to pick up this hammer in just a moment.
Yes, the joy of the Palace of Darkness, it's a lot of back and forth. It can be very... thankfully, these guys have the mirror, but without the mirror, this dungeon can take forever.
I do want to point out, though, and Swerve remembers this, and Dode didn't. They have the components needed for the Big Bomb.
You know what? I didn't even notice that. So we're gonna see if the double-chested fairy actually pays off this time. And hopefully he remembers he can take the shortcut. It looks like he does.
That's what he's doing right now.
Because for those that don't know, after you defeat Ganon 1, the gate to the castle becomes a Dark World teleporter. So as soon as you cross path, it takes you right back into the Dark World, eliminating that wonderful little river there.
And you could use that to get yourself over to... you can transport the Big Bomb into both worlds. And we find 10 arrows and bombs. That fairy no love today.
I mean, I can't blame him for checking, but I think I've only ever seen the fairy pay off once or twice this entire tournament.
Dode, by the way, picked up the hook shot in the Palace of Darkness. He did that while we were looking at Swerb's End with the big fairy. And there it is on his inventory there, and, you know...
Swerb is heading to get his Cane of Samaria right now.
Yes, he is. So, we don't know the medallion needed for Turtle Rock. But, at this moment, Dode is at least the ice rod away from go mode, if not the Bombos medallion too. And Dode falling off the edge here, and he will reset this room. A nice juke around the mini Helmosaurs.
It's better than I could do. Those things always push me all around the place.
Yeah, they do the same thing to me, and then I realize if I have silver arrows, I can go ahead and kill that one that's on the north end of the bridge with a single silver arrow. So we're about to head into the Palace of Darkness. So we are once again very, very close. Once again, the difference right now is Dode still has to do Thieves' Town. And now we're finding where all the heart containers are in this run.
Yeah, they were all in the Dark World. Ganon was holding them hostage. So this is still becoming very interesting because Swerb could not check the big chest in Thieves' Town. So while he is currently ahead in crystals, that big chest might have something important, like, you know, the ice rod, which is probably the last thing that we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very, very important thing right there, is that right now, that would be a big backtrack if that does turn out to be the place where the ice rod turns out. And so far, nothing.
So Rick, I'm gonna let you know, you did just sound like a massive robot.
So did you. I think we're having some Discord issues.
Okay. All I'm seeing is robots in the chat right now.
Yeah, we're both sounding like robots right now. So we are here in Palace of Darkness. Dode heading to Helmosaur. Swerb picking up hook shot.
Guys, blame Discord, not us. It's not us. We're good. We're good. Promise.
They say I'm sounding worse. Good. I'll just keep it like that for the rest of the stream.
Not really much of entertainment-wise going on right now. I mean, Dode is heading down toward his boss. Swerb not really far behind him, but big difference being Swerb is technically a crystal ahead.
Yep, that Thieves' Town is a big difference, and where that ice rod pops up could determine whether or not we have a game 3 or not. Once again, DoDeChehedron wins. He is going to be going on to the round of 32 to face off against Picket Pals. And if Swerb wins this, we got a game 3 coming up right after this. Swerb with a nice juke too.
Yeah, given the fact that they don't have the ice rod and we don't know what is required for Turtle Rock, it's still anybody's game.
DoDeChehedron with a very fast down Star King, but then again, when you have Butter Sword, it's pretty much always a fast kill. And Blue Meringue, the reward for killing him off today. I'm sure DoDeChehedron is saying, couldn't it be something else that's blue, like a blue-tipped item?
Rick, you really need to watch your wording on some things.
I've been told that. Have I learned my lesson?
No, you haven't.
So the odds of that happening before the finals are about the same as me moving on in this tournament with an 0-4 record. So Dota's going to head to Thieves Town next. Now, I'm surprised that neither of these players have decided to head on up to Death Mountain just yet.
They might be having their fingers crossed that they'll find what they need up there. That way they can just grab it and go right into Turtle Rock.
So we're going to find out in about 3.5 minutes what that item that was being missed in the hammer chest and whether or not it's important. If it's the bombos or the ice rod, it could be very, very important, and Swerb might have to double back. If it's anything else, nah.
That big chest could be something that just makes or breaks this entire race.
Well, we all know these runners, this audience wants to see another race.
Of course, who doesn't want more randomizer races? It's almost like a drug. It's so addicting to just watch these things all day long.
Well, this turns out to be a massive adventure for both of these runners right now. Like, this is what makes this a whole lot of fun. It's the drama. We can keep you attached here for the next 3 minutes while Dode is doing everything here in Thieves Town to lead him towards the basement. And then we'll probably be letting you down when we find out that it turns out to be that one of the 2 single green rupees.
Yeah, because I think they've only uncovered one of those so far.
We have found the single arrow, though. That was in Sasarella's hut. I'm wondering what that old guy is holding on to that single arrow, by the way. Is he holding on to it as a momentum?
I mean, there's so many possible reasons that he could be holding onto a single arrow. He might have a vampire problem.
Maybe he had picked up Link's crossbow training.
So now that Swerb has picked up his 6th crystal, he is officially on the hunt for said ice rod. And possibly whatever it is required to open Turtle Rock. Since neither of these guys have been back up to Death Mountain, we've got no idea what Turtle Rock even requires.
Yep, we don't know if it's the ether, the quake, it could be the bombos. And let's find out. Here we go. We've been putting this in suspense now for about a half an hour now. It's a piece of heart.
big letdown. So now I'm just gonna have my fingers crossed that Cold Stare is the one holding the ice rod.
Oh God.
I want more trolls.
Yeah, that would be quite the troll. I would definitely agree with you.
Only because Ice Palace, we all know, is everybody's absolute favorite dungeon.
Oh, it's mine too. It's definitely mine. I enjoy some Ice Palace.
You're a bit of a masochist if you actually do enjoy Ice Palace, especially full clearing Ice Palace.
So Swerb's gonna find himself with a piece of heart here. He's not gonna get that. So I wouldn't be surprised if either of these guys head up to Death Mountain now.
Alrighty, and just like that, we're back to being tied at crystals, and Swerb is heading to Death Mountain. Gonna see if Dode will be right behind him. I can imagine he will be, because the East Death Mountain has so many items for these guys.
Yeah, now that they've got the hook shot, now that they've got the hammer, they've got many possibilities. Where is Swerb going? Oh, dead rocked here. Oh, I know what's going on here. Swerb is checking the Spike Cave. I forgot about this possibility.
And he pulled out everybody's favorite lag rod to do it, too.
Well, let's see if it pays off. Nope. $20.
Well, I mean, it did technically pay off, just, you know, with money.
Oh, Dode almost getting the hover. He didn't get it. Piece of heart and a heart container. Still amazing that only about a half an hour, maybe about 40 minutes ago, they only had 5 hearts at the end of Skullwoods.
Yeah, these guys had 4+ crystals done with like 5 or 6 hearts.
Silver
Ooh,
arrows.
that's a good find.
Red in the bottle. So Swerb will be getting the as well.
Back to this is
Hello.
hello.
All right. I think since I am hearing Gen Z properly here, we'll continue on.
I think
Spiral
we're good
Cave.
now. Feasel to the rescue.
Ace of Heart in the Spiral Cave. So if I'm Dode, it's time to head on over and go through the portal, check to see what we need for Turtle Rock as well as the other areas over here in Dark Death Mountain. If it's not here, then we can pretty much surmise that the final items that we need. Well, I was going to say in Pendant Dungeons, but there's also a possibility. They never went back into the Misery Mire Cave, have they?
No, they have not. The only time they went into Mire area was before they got the Moon Pearl.
And without the Super Bunny, there was no way they could actually check that stuff. So here we go. Dode finding 300 rupees and the useless blue mail at this point.
I will admit it's so weird watching runners check East Death Mountain at an hour and 14 minutes.
All right, Hookshot Cave. Final 4 spots now. I'm hoping Dode does check Turtle Rock's medallion before leaving this mountain if he doesn't find anything up here. There's the ice rod.
Possible go mode, because we don't know what Turtle Rock requires yet.
There we go. So we're gonna find out in about 30 seconds if Dode is in go mode, and it is. The Ether Medallion. Dode's on go mode. Swerb will be not that far behind, but Swerb has some work to do.
He just has to get up to that hookshot cave.
This could be what you were talking about earlier, where Dode's decision to hover could come back to haunt if it turns out that he falls and Swerve's that very right next to him. So Swerve's about to be in go mode too.
All right, Dode. We need to get a time here to see how far apart these guys are.
Well, Dode is about to enter at 1:15:37. Swerb is now on go mode.
He got his ice rod and hopped right off. I don't blame him. So the race is on right now.
Yes, this could be a routing decision coming up in Ganon's Tower. This is going to be very tight for these two runners. What are we going to find here in Turtle Rock? Could this be the easy mode? 2 keys and the big key. Dode just accidentally going the wrong way, and things like that, these little incidents here, are what could make enough time for Swerb to come back. This is a tight match. Now, Swerb does, I think, have silvers because he went to the Light Road cave. Like, there's no reason why he wouldn't have silvers at this point. And Swerb had to use magic power, the green in the bottle there, so he could open up the Turtle Rock because he didn't have enough magic.
So about 1 minute and 8 seconds are separating these guys right now. That is it.
This is tight. Again, this comes down to execution.
That's all it's going to be at this point. This is going to show who the actual better player is, who knows their end game better.
Yeah. And this could be quite the scenario here for both of these runners. And Dode getting the big key.
And then it being this close too, it's going to be a left side, right side Ganon's Tower.
Oh, wouldn't you like to see that where a left side, right side gamble pays off or doesn't pay off? Like, this could be quite a run for both of these guys.
I know I, for one, love seeing races that are this close. Definitely makes things interesting.
Ooh, Dode, where are you going?
Oh no, I think he realized it too as soon as he walked through the door.
Yeah, that's what that pause was. Oh, and Swerve falls down, and Dode doesn't get a key off the island. He's going to have to go to the final 4 chests.
Oh boy.
These are the kind of things that could allow Swerve back into this.
Yeah, Dode had realized it as soon as he walked through that door too.
Ooh, Swerve's going to have to be careful here. He did not get the activation here. He's got 2 hearts left. If he gets hit by the chain chomps, he is dead. He does, I believe, have that fairy that he got out of Skullwoods. Oh, wow! And he gets popped. He's going to lose that fairy.
But thankfully, he had a fairy, so he doesn't have to redo the beginning part of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, but he's going to have to be careful. But there he goes. He finally gets his big key.
Dode is hovering.
With the hover, and gets bombs. That means he does have to check the final 4. Swerb has a big chance to come back, though. Because Dode has to check the final 4. Swerb will have that key in hand if he doesn't accidentally go to that door. Like, Dode knows this is going to be a key right here. So that means Swerb is going to get that key. He's not going to have to check the final 4 chests. Now, one thing that plays to Dode's advantage is he's got the mirror shield.
Yeah, so that does help on those last 4 chests, but these guys being as good as they are, I'm sure Swerb knows how to skip the lasers.
Well, Swerb doesn't even need to deal with those lasers. He's going to have that extra key.
That is very true.
There will be no reason for him to go. This is all time lost here for Dode at this point. Dode's best case is if that first chest has it, it does not. If this is all the way on the bottom, that is a huge time sink.
There it
is, chest 3. Like, we're talking probably about 20 seconds there. And this is a tight enough of a race here where Swerb can easily come right back.
This is going to come down to left side, right side, Ganon's tower, and where that big key is at.
Oh, nice strats there with the Canis and Mario there from Dode, as he will be the first one to Trinex.
Dode entered Trinex at 121.04. And with the butter sword and half magic, they make very, very quick work of Trinex.
3 hits per head, dodging the main head, which can hurt a whole lot. Now, Swerv's big issue now is that he's already used up his defenses in his bottles here in Turtle Rock. He had a green goo in a bottle. He's used that. He had a fairy in a bottle. He's used that. And a heart container at the end here. All right, Dode gets the final crystal. We're off to Ganon's tower. Jency, why don't you do the my normal spiel?
All right, guys. You know there are 21 chests in Ganon's tower. 22 if you count the torch. Get your guesses in. Where is that big key going to be at? And just to point out, they are exactly 1 minute apart right now. Swerb entered Trinex at 122.04.
So what chest do you think it's going to be?
I'm going to go with my typical, it's in the Bob chest.
Number 14. You know what? I'm going to say number 19. I want a left side, right side gamble.
Yes, because at this point they are 1 minute apart. So it looks like Dode is checking the right side first.
Yep, the standard 2 chest over here, we find a heart container. And a small key. Now that small key does make things interesting if Swerb does want to go right side. We got 3 bombs on the torch, so Bob's gonna live. So we know what we need to do now in chat.
Guys, get your high bobs out. Come on. I mean, we don't see him yet. We might not see him, but he lives. He lives for another race.
Oh, now checking chests 4 through 7. Small key. Plus 5 arrows. A piece of heart. And a small key. Nothing in 4 through 7.
Yeah, but they definitely loaded on small keys right now. So if he finds that big key,
so
he's just going right up the middle. What do you think Swerve's
going to do here, Jency?
At this point, he might take the gamble and go right side.
Oh, he just swerves right through that key door right there.
A little bit of a shortcut.
Guys, this is tight.
Oh, and little technical issues like Dode's having right now with the boomerang is giving Swerve just a little bit. All those little fractions do add up.
So DoDeChehedron now making his way to chest number 9.
Hey, there's Bombos. This is definitely a nail biter to know they're so close together.
It really is. And I muted my headphones for some reason, so I didn't hear you for the last minute.
Oh, well, thanks.
I know.
See how it is.
Absolutely. There it is. There's
Big
the
key.
big key. It turned out to be in chest number 11. So if you picked chest number 11, we were going to give you a piece of our love and affection, but they grabbed too many hearts for that to matter, so we'll just give you the single arrow for your prize.
Alright, so Swerb is not that far behind him. He is about to go in and grab his big key as well.
Execution. This is what it's going to come down to. Execution. Who has the faster gauntlet?
And I've got a feeling it's going to boil down to Aga 2 patterns.
That is a good point, too. Swerb is not out of this. Swerb going to check... no, he's not going to check that chest. I'm done. I'm heading upstairs. I've got a key. DoDeChehedron gave us kind of a heart aneurysm in his last race against Swerb. He can't be having that kind of race. Take a look at his health, too.
And he needs to watch...
Ooh. Time to inhale the red juice, the red Kool-Aid.
I think it's going to boil down to if he decides to hover Moldorm 2. He was practicing that when we were first getting set up. And he wasn't having... The pit was winning more times than not.
And that could also be something that really comes back into play, but we'll don't do that here this close in a race. I don't know. It could be something that could give him a lead or something that could give him a nightmare. If he messes up this race, he's got to play for another maybe 2 hours.
But the thing is, like, Dode has no idea where that Swerb is, like, 5 rooms behind him right now.
Yeah,
and Swerb has no idea that Dode is in, yeah, Dode is just a couple rooms ahead of him. English is hard, I'm sorry.
He got down the Lamolas in one cycle. Looked very, very nervous sitting there for DoDeChehedron. Swerb just tearing this gauntlet apart. And Swerb, about to head on over to the Lamolas, had to dance around the statue, but he's able to get around. This is a big race here. Tensi, buckle up. We're in for a final, fanatical finish here.
I know, I haven't even hardly been looking at chat. I'm waiting for somebody to mess up something. This is just so close.
Oh, Dode getting through. Dode will be heading at about the 128 mark up to the 6th floor. So right now it's a 1 floor difference between both of these players. Quick work, 1 cycle through the Wizrobes did Swerb. Dode about to go up against the Lamolas. What is he going to do? Is he going to go for the... Oh, he's got the hook shot ready to go. He's going for the kill.
I definitely don't blame him because, like I said, when we saw him practicing earlier, he was not having much luck with this hover. So it's a very, very smart move to play it safe. As long as he doesn't walk off the edge.
And a piece of heart is the finale here. And Swerb now up to the 6th floor, 128.50. 50 seconds apart. Now Swerv's going to have to kill this Helmstar room. He does quickly. This Aga 2 could be huge. Will Dode get a good pattern? I don't like that pattern here, but 1, 2, 3!
Oh, he got a triple. Can he get a double triple? 1, 2, 3. No. Nope. 1 out of
twice. That's 5. So 3, 2, 1.
He almost had double, triple.
Swerb falls off.
Oh no, Swerb. Dode is... If Dode has a clean Ganon, he's got this in the bag. If he falls to Ganon, it's back to being anybody's race.
And Swerb now defeats Moldern 2. Dode is off to Ganon. Swerb doesn't even check the chest here. He's wanting to just move on to Aga 2. Here is the finale. At least Ganon ain't talking about breakfast this time around. So Dode with a win here would go up against Pickup Pals in the round of 32. And he is going pretty much the Andy strat here through this Ganon cycle too. And wow, take a look at him go here.
He does need to watch those fire bats though, because even with the red mail, they hit like a truck.
He is off to cycle number 3. He's got to be careful. Falling off the ledge here could cost him the race.
And Swerb not having too much luck with the Aga 2 fight. He's not really getting some good patterns in here.
Yeah, he had a chance for a double there, but had a tough time. Swerb off to Ganon now. Here comes Dode over the corner. Oh, the torches go out. And he goes over the corner now. Oh, this could be a pretty finish here for Dode. 1, 2, 3. No, he didn't get him.
Oh, we got denied for the triple.
There we go.
There we go.
Dode wins, and he will be moving on to the round of 32 to face Pickup Pals with his 2-0 series win against Swerb. We'll get the official race time in just a moment once he enters the door. And he's in 131-21. How about a GG for DoDeChehedron? Swerb acknowledging the loss, but he's just going to finish off this Ganon fight.
Swerb put up one heck of a fight. Goodness, that race at the end.
Swerb having to be careful with his health here as he moves on to the final stage of Ganon. And we welcome DoDeChehedron, the winner of this series against Swerb 2-0 series sweep. You guys entered the 6th floor of Ganon's tower 50 seconds apart.
Wow.
Congratulations, Dode. You had us like biting our nails at the end.
I made one really bad decision in Turtle Rock. I knew I made a mistake to go in the door where the vanilla big key is. So
Yeah,
find another one.
we noticed your hesitation once you went inside of the door, and we knew exactly what there. And we were worried that the key was going to be buried deep, but at that point you had at least enough of a lead that got you to the finish here. And Swerb finishes off Ganon. And it's going to be about a 90-second difference between the two of you, but what a big close finish here. As the battle for the ice rod. And how happy were you once you got the ice rod to find out that the medallion needed to end a turtle walk is one of the 2 that you had?
That's exactly what it came down to. As soon as I finished off Thieves, went up to... I knew I hadn't explored the entire East Death Mountain, so I knew there was a very likely chance it was there. But there's, you know, pretty much every seed has had that one item that just like stands out, and you have to go hunting through undesirable places to find. So fortunately, this was not one of those seeds.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you guys got lucky. Everything was in common places. You didn't have to go into any of the pendant dungeons.
Yeah, that was in the back of my mind the whole time. So I guess that means flute wasn't required then?
It was, because the Titan's Mitt was the old man, and the Power Glove was in the Dark World.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, the first thing I did, I don't know if Swerb made the same decision as me, but before I even checked the other half of the Light World, I just went straight to Aganim.
Yeah, he checked a little bit more of the Light World, but it was probably about a 10-minute difference because it did turn out to be quite the hefty bottleneck.
Yeah.
And then even there, it just became where is this item that's going to progress the seed along? And both of you guys finally got the idea to check Zora, and about 30 seconds apart, you found out that it was the Moon Pearl.
Yep. When I was going to Zora, in my head, I knew I don't think there's any other spot that I missed, so I was just about 98% sure that Zora was going to give it to me. Something that did kind of frustrate me as soon as I got into the Dark World and checked the map, I had practiced exactly 3 boss fights today. Vitreous, Argus, and Cold Stare.
And all 3 of them.
I didn't have to fight any of them.
Pendant dungeons. Wow.
Lucky you.
It was a good time.
I was waiting for you to attempt to hover Moldorm 2 because we saw you doing that, practicing before the race started. And the whole time I had my fingers crossed that you didn't because we knew how close this race was.
Oh, man. Yeah, I figured like it was pretty straightforward. I didn't think there was anything that would have thrown him off because I didn't see a dot done yet. So I figured he had to be pretty close. And my hovers, I don't think I nailed one. Well, I got the one in Turtle Rock. But besides that, I fell on every other one today, so definitely wasn't confident hitting that one.
So yeah, it was a wise decision not to do that in that case as we welcome in Swerb to the conversation here. A good race between the 2 of you.
I think you might have something muted.
Yeah, I see him lighting up, but unfortunately he's not saying anything at this moment.
Sorry. I had my mic muted. GG, Dad.
GG. That was a really good race.
I hope everyone was as confused by like my early game routing as I was.
But even all of that, to keep it within a minute and a half, you guys entered the last floor like 55 seconds apart. It was insane.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a feeling once I found like the ice rod, I was like, oh man, this is like kind of an easy seed. So I knew like if I was even ahead, like it was not gonna be by much. Like I knew it was gonna be a really close race, so I just got pretty nervous in Turtle Rock.
Now, is that what ended up happening against the Chain Chomps, or is this just Chain Chomps being Chain Chomps?
Chain Chomps are my nightmare, man.
I think they're everybody's nightmare.
Every time I go in that room, it doesn't matter.
They either go well or they don't. There's not much in between.
Yeah, we noticed you ended up having to use up your green potion to enter Turtle Rock and then launch your fairy to the Chain Chomps. But, you know, you guys gave us quite the thrill here during this course of this race here. Like I noted before, you guys entered the 6th floor of Ganon's Tower 50 seconds apart.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, it was really close. So, I mean, just getting to brackets was like my goal when I signed up for the tournament, and I knew Dode was going to be a tough opponent, so I can't be upset about losing to Dode.
Oh, no. Don't be upset at all. You put up one heck of a fight in this race.
Either one could have gone either way, to be completely honest. I mean, had you found the cane in the digging game in game 1, that would have been a pretty even game, and this was a pretty even game, so...
Absolutely. I do want to ask here, is 91-21 your PB in Randomizer, Dode?
By 19 minutes, yes.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. I have not had a seed just play out that well in the end until now.
I find it funny that I need to point this out because you guys got the Titan's mitts and it was just one item after another that you were finding to keep you progressing. Neither one of you checked East Side Death Mountain until about an hour and 15 minutes in.
Yep. We didn't get the hammer. Let's see, hammer was Hype Cave and Hookshot was in Pod.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was just a matter of you could do all the other dungeons immediately. And then, by then, the only thing left that was needed was Ice Rod. So, after Thieves Town, I figured... So, I don't know what Swerb did, but I did Thieves Town 6th. So then it was just the whole East Death Mountain was open after that.
I did Thieves Town before Pod. I did Pod 6th.
Okay.
And so when I found the hammer, I knew I could do Pod, and then like I had all of Death Mountain available.
Did you do Thieves before?
I don't even know why I stopped by Catfish, but I did it before, and then I like looped down towards Hype Cave.
Okay. Did you backtrack at Thieves?
No, I figured like if the big chest was something, like I wasn't gonna go there until like my last resort almost.
Yeah, it turned out you didn't miss anything. As we found out on Dode's end, it was just a piece of heart.
Yep, that's all it was. There was actually like not very many hearts until pretty far in. I was riding on 5 hearts for a while.
Yeah, how about that? Going through 5 hearts through Skull Woods.
It was a little scary, but they gave us the fairy in a bottle, and the butter sword and the red mail right off the bat. So, not too bad overall.
Yeah, 5 hearts is sketchy, but if you have the red mail, it's not nearly as big of a deal.
Now, I do want to ask about that here. How insane was it getting the red mail first thing out of this game and getting boots right in Hyrule Castle?
That got my heart rate up a little bit. Like it clearly doesn't give either one of us an advantage, but it's like, okay, this calls for some new strats and an escape that I'm not used to with boots. So
yeah, and we noticed that was that just forgetting that you had the boots when you skipped over the dash cave early on, Swerb?
Yeah, which was funny because I did like a practice seed before this, and I forgot about that cave too.
But at least you remember the digging game this time around.
Yeah.
After you kept teasing us with it, you started running down the right side of Village of Outcasts, and then you stopped and checked something else. And then you did it again. You stopped and checked something else. It's like, just go to the digging game already.
I figured the odds of there being something there again were pretty low, but I wasn't going to forget this time.
And it turned out to be a heart container.
Yeah, I didn't even pick it up.
Yeah, we noticed.
And that was when you guys were still at like 5 and 6 hearts. So I was a little shocked you actually did not pick that up.
Like I said, the red mail makes like 6 hearts a lot less scary.
yeah, definitely.
So, Dode, you get another 2 randomizer races under your belt here for this tournament as you go up against Pick-a-Pals in the next round of this tournament. Your thoughts heading into that round?
This is just like absurd. I never thought so. I don't know. This is probably my 15th randomizer I've completed. I started out, my first few were over 3 hours each, and it's just fun learning more and more about the seeds each time you play it. The more things you forget, the more things you won't forget in the future. So I made sure to check all those places like right off the bat so I wouldn't forget them. And yeah, starting out 0-2, I didn't even think like I needed a miracle to make the bracket. So it's really fortunate to be this far. It's a really fun time.
And now with this, you're now going to be in the round of 32.
Thank you. And Swerb, I hope you've had as much fun as I did because this has been really fun.
Yeah, I'm really glad I entered it. So yeah, best of luck to you, man. I'll be rooting for you since you beat me.
Thank you. Appreciate
You better
it.
go all the way now, dude. Putting that pressure on you. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
All right, how about a nice GG for both of our runners, DoDeChehedron and Swerb. Thank you guys for coming on by, and thank you for giving us a great race.
Yeah, and thanks again for commentating as always.
And I second that.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Once again, DoDeChehedron and Swerb, be sure to follow these runners here. As we continue here with the link to the past randomizer tournament, Dode is moving on, be facing off against the number 9 seed Pick-a-Pals in the round of 32. That's going to do it here on Speed Gaming 2 as, well, because Dode decided he was going to win this race, well, we're not going to have a game 3. So we're going to be probably going on over to host Speed Gaming, where there is going to be another race beginning in about 10 minutes against F. Coughlin versus Ninny Z. That's game 3 of their best of 3. So get on over there. Watch that match. It's going to be a lot of fun. Jency, you got anything you want to add?
Not a thing, other than I'm tired, and that was an amazing race that made me even more exhausted. I'm like holding my breath watching the whole time. So thank you guys. Thank you both so much. And Dode, good luck in your next round.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure I will definitely see you around in the Discord and everything. Everybody in the tournament has been amazing.
I'm excited to watch this one back because you guys have both done amazing commentary, and this was a really good race. So this one will be exciting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same.
So once again, thank you guys for coming on by. Once again, more link to the past randomizer races coming up tomorrow here, as well as a few other things. If you want to find out what's going on here on Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 to exclamation point schedule, you get the whole listing tailored to what time zone you're going to be in to find out what's going on here on both of these channels. So let's get on out of here. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm going to let you get us out of here, Gen Z. I'm Adirondack Rick. Thanks to Feasel working behind the scenes to get us on the air. Have a good night, everyone.
I am Genty86, and if you're feeling generous, give both of us a follow. Definitely go follow these runners. They are amazing. And we'll be seeing you guys later. Enjoy the 11 o'clock with F. Coughlin and Ninnies. Have a good night.
Good night.